Hello, good morning. Today we are going to discuss case studies related to different topics. So, right now I have three case studies. Let's see how much time permits, we will be able to cover them up. Case study number one. So, this case study that we are going to discuss is related to performance appraisal system at Jelly Belly. Any of you has ever heard of this company called Jelly Belly? I hope you guys were online, then it would have been much easier for us to discuss about the company. Anyway, never mind. So this company Jelly Belly is basically an American company that manufactures Jelly Belly beans and other candies. So because it's an American company, here also in India in some of the stores we find Jelly Belly, but otherwise it's a very well known company and it is based in California. It was founded in the year 1869. Imagine, it was founded in the year 1869. Means it is means it is 155 more than that years old company. And they are serving the chocolates worldwide, and they have almost 800 employees working in the manufacturing plant. So again, they have different manufacturing plants also. Now let's see about this company. All right. See, Jelly Belly Candy Company was established in 1869 by Albert and Gustav Golitz. Originally, the company was known as Hermann Golitz Candy. However, in 1989, it was renamed Jelly Belly Candy Company, a family owned business in Fairfield, California, US. Today, Jelly Belly produces more than 37 million pounds, means 17,000 tons of candy annually in over 50 flavors at its Fairfield, North Chicago, Illinois, and Wisconsin facilities in the US. So basically, so much they are producing only in US. It also operates in Thailand, where it produces candies for the markets outside the US. So the consumption only in US is so much, 17,000 tons annually. That's a lot of chocolate. Continuing, like every employee oriented organization, Jelly Belly also recognizes the contribution of its employees behind its success. It believes that employees are more likely to be loyal with the organization if they feel connected with their jobs and are rewarded properly. So they also believe in that the same thing, that if employees, if they are rewarded properly, then they will remain connected with the employees. So it is very important that you recognize their performance. Therefore, the performance of employees should be evaluated fairly to provide them with maximum job satisfaction. It's important that in order to ensure that they are satisfied, you have to evaluate them fairly. That's the first thing, and provide them with maximum job satisfaction. Performance appraisal is one such HRM activity that is taken with utmost responsibility in every organization. I think nowadays also people understand, that if you will not motivate employees, if you will not recognize them or give them sufficient rewards and recognition that is needed, then they will leave and go. Because in today's time there's a lot of competition. Earlier it was like there are only few good organizations to work for, but now it's not like that. Now there's a lot of competition and people are ready to pay money. So that's why the power lies in the hands of employees also, right? So everybody takes this very seriously, that everybody believes that performance appraisal is a very important activity, that should be everybody's responsibility and should be taken care properly. It is the most important tool to get employees into believing how much they are valued for their efforts. So it is the most important tool, right? Everybody believes, for employees to believe that how much they are valued for their efforts. If you don't appraise their performance once in a year also, then it becomes like mundane. Everybody, it's very boring, right? And employees just keep doing things and they are never rewarded. So ultimately their motivation level will go down. So it cannot work like that. Jelly Belly also believes that an effective employee performance appraisal system can help the organization to align its priorities and values with those of its employees. So the company also believes that any kind of effective employee performance appraisal system will help the company to align its priorities and values with those of its, because employees will also have some kind of values, some kind of importance, something which they really wish to do. And at the same time, even employees will also have some kind of priorities and some values. Company also has its values. So if both of them are aligned with each other, then the result will be great. Otherwise it's a problem. That is why when Jelly Belly decided to renovate and systematize its outdated employee performance appraisal system, it started looking for an appraisal solution that could give its employees a fair and accurate performance appraisal. Okay, I repeat, Jelly Belly also believes that an effective employee performance appraisal system can help the organization to align its priorities and values with those of its employees. That is why, when Jelly Belly decided to renovate and systematize its outdated employee performance appraisal system, it started looking for an appraisal solution that could give its employees a fair and accurate performance appraisal. So, from the very beginning, they were understanding how much important it is to have a system in place, wherein you are at least giving fair and accurate appraisals to the employees. Now let's discuss the solution. So to deal with this challenge, the task of updating and consolidating the performance management process was given to Margie Polos, the HR manager of Jelly Belly's Midwest operations. She was given the responsibility of finding a single automated system for all the 600 employees of Jelly Belly. Now there's this lady Margie. So she has been given this task of updating and consolidating the performance management process. Why it is considered as a challenge? Because the software which they are using, which one of the branches which they are using, that is outdated, first thing. And second branch is altogether using a manual system, which is a very time consuming process for so many employees. That's why she has been given the responsibility to find one system which can be suitable for all the 600 employees. To meet their strategic goals, Polos and her team created a list of guidelines for the new appraisal system. Topping the list was ease of use. First thing was ease of use. According to her, we did not want to end up with a system that is so complicated that the managers would not use it. So their priority was ease of use, something which is easy to use. They also focused on making the new system as one that could save time and incorporate the core competencies of the employees into different forms. Now, when we were discussing performance appraisal as a chapter, I showed you a couple of websites, right, who are offering the professional services, especially for the purpose of performance appraisals. So I also showed you the name of employees and different traits, different core competencies which were possessed by them, and apart from that, what projects they were working and what was the result. Right? You saw everything. I hope you remember. If not, you can go back and see those. It was the end of chapter of performance appraisal, and there were a number of companies which for which I just taken a screenshot and shared the format of how it is done. So here also they believed in one thing, that first thing, it should be user friendly, and second one, it should save time and incorporate the core competencies of the employees into different forms. So whichever you just have to make a list of all the competencies, and then you should be able to incorporate all of them into the system. Now, Polos and a team considered various software products from different vendors. Now, there are obviously, if a big corporation is willing, to take this service, then there are vendors who are very much willing to sell. So they considered various software products from different vendors, and according to her, we eliminated right away those that were geared to very large companies and those that were not web based, right? So one thing, now it was easy to shortlist, because first thing, they needed something which is web based, and second thing, they did not want softwares from the service providers who were offering to very large companies. We also eliminated those that offered too many options for customization, because they wanted a very simple system. They did not want to make it complicated. They did not want to take services from those vendors who are catering to very big clients, because they will not have time for the smaller clients. So they were very clear about certain things, and they wanted a simple system. That's why even those who are offering like a lot of customization, they did not want to confuse themselves and purchase from them. It is one thing to offer options, but another thing when the product requires so much customization that it becomes overwhelming. So they obviously don't want that. Now what they did, however, after long research, the HR committee selected Halogene Software's Halogene Performance, a web-based application for managing employee performance. So they have selected this software. We liked the way it looked, and we really like the user friendliness of it. It is easy for the managers to use, and it is customizable without overwhelming them, she said. Right? So it was customizable as per the requirement. It was easy to use, and everybody liked it. Now, around 50 managers of Jelly Belly received a crash course in using Halogen Performance and used the software to complete their annual employee evaluations in May. So, first thing obviously they did was the trial. They tried it on 50 employees and then they completed their annual employee evaluation. The organization was very relieved with the results. According to Polos, the feedback had been really positive from both managers and employees. Some staff said this was the best appraisal they ever had. Because, see, when it's manual, you might not be in a position to submit the documents again, time, again, if you have other proof, it would be difficult. For managers, it is little difficult to manually, feed the data, take of each and every employee when 800 is a big number. So everybody were very positive, everybody really liked it, and that's why even employees felt that this was the best appraisals they had. They really enjoyed feeding the data, and they had a lot of flexibility and freedom to put the inputs. They felt the evaluations were fair and realistic, and supervisors had the scope to provide more relevant and legitimate comments that they could before than they could before. So first thing why everybody loved was it was fair and it was realistic, right? Everybody uh, felt that yeah, you had a chance to submit the records, or if you have had some achievements, then at least this was an opportunity wherein you can submit. Otherwise, you could only do it if somebody asked for it. So here it was quite fair, quite realistic, quite easy. And for supervisors also, they had like they could provide more like legitimate comments also than they were giving before. Rather than just clicking on a bunch of comments, they were accurately reviewing the employee. So it was not random that you are just you're just commenting the same way for all the employees, because obviously you are bored, you are tired, and manually if you do, then that's the limitation. So here it was easy, right? You were very honest and more accurate in reviewing the employee. The new automated employee performance appraisal system completely systemized the Jelly Belly's employee evaluation process. According to Brown, it allows us to standardize competencies across job classifications, add signature and comment sections to make the process more interactive, and increase accessibility for remote managers. So they could do all these things, they could standardize competencies across job classifications. So for different kind of jobs, first thing, you were classifying the jobs, right, as per the different features, for example, relevance, importance, um, creativity in the organization, knowledge, different way you were classifying the job. And for each classification you had some standardized competencies on the basis of which you were reviewing the employee's performance, you were appraising the employee. So that was easier, that was possible with the help of this new automated system. The new appraisal system helped managers to regularly update their online appraisals. It saved their time during the appraisal period. Even if managers were in remote or traveling, they could have access to the forms and the data to evaluate their staff. So, again, for managers who were traveling and who had the responsibility of updating the appraisals, they could also save the time. But even the employees who were who had to fill the forms, they could fill the form without any excuses that they were not present in the office. According to Brown, in our old system, a few folks in Chicago would have access to the system, but we have managers in California with Chicago subordinates. So it is important that they can share the same forms across the board. And we have folks who are on the road a lot or are working out of home offices. So having them be able to access this is a huge point for us. So this is the requirement, right? Because they had a strong workforce, big workforce, and so many of them had were doing the job in which traveling was must. So then As I said that earlier, it was a problem that how will they access it, how will they fill the form, how will they participate in the entire appraisal process. But now it was all possible because there was a system in place and people could access that from anywhere. In addition to managers, the new appraisal system also helped employees, as now they were not needed to fill different forms but simply add comments and sign the appraisals in one consistent employee evaluation form. So it was much easier because there were no different forms to fill, but all you had to do was just add the data online, and whatever comments and sign were needed, only that much was needed. The new system also helped Jelly Belly in tracking the training and development needs of its employees. According to Polos, we have always had a separate training manual. Now we can go into the evaluations and more easily monitor employees' skill development, see what training is needed by individuals, and check the due dates for training and renewal. That makes it much easier for us to keep track. So training being an important part um, in such kind of industries, it was much easier now to just evaluate the performance, monitor employees skill development needs, and identify where training is needed and what are the dates for the training and how quickly they can plan. So the tracking, to maintain the track and to plan became much easier. The new employee performance appraisal system has proven to be a big time saver for Jelly Belly's HR team. It helped the organization to better align employee goals with the organization's business objectives. According to Polos, it has already saved us a lot of time and we got everybody's appraisals done in one shot. Right? So this was, otherwise, every, I mean, they have to do it department wise, so employees also keep waiting. They are also it also, like, this process also demotivates them because they're eagerly waiting for the appraisals to come, to see some hike in the salary, to see if they've been promoted to any other senior positions, like everybody expects, right? All the employees expects this happening. So when there is a delay, if it's happened in one department and then they have to wait for long duration because it's manually done. So with this system, everything got done in one shot. Even the organization could plan further, right? If they had other objectives to achieve, if they had any other plans, or if or apart from that, if they are planning training, then everything was happening on time. Now, just questions. Identify the major issues that Jelly Belly was facing with its old performance appraisal system. So I'm sure you already know the answer. Otherwise, you can just go back, read the case, and try and answer these questions. Do you think the measures taken by Jelly Belly helped it in overcoming the issues related to performance appraisal system? Give reasons to support your answer. So, what do you think? Is it fine, the measures which were taken in overcoming the issues? How far was it successful? So this is about the case of performance appraisal system by one of the largest manufacturers. Now we'll be moving on to the second case, which is related to training. See, the title of the case is IMAP Workforce Training Process by Dale Carnegie Training. So this case study discusses the IMAP Workforce Training Process by Dale Carnegie Training. So Dale Carnegie Foundation is one of the biggest foundation who's offering training to the employees. It is a New York-based corporate training service providers, which companies such as retail, manufacturing, telecommunications, healthcare, and IT, they're offering services to such kind of industries. They rely on for delivering effective employee development programs. So they are offering, so companies can outsource their training requirements through such kind of foundation. So what kind of process they are following, that's what we are going to learn from this case study. It has been enhancing the performance of the employees of companies in different sectors for over 100 years. They constantly updates its services to adapt successfully to the latest changes and remain competitive in the market. The solutions provider strives towards strengthening the brand and service delivery. It aims at providing the best possible service to its client company. So this is how the company has grown over the years. It is one of the oldest organization, right? They are offering this training services to different sectors for almost for 100 years. And what they strive is they want to strengthen the brand and service delivery, and also provide the best possible service to its client companies, because if you do that, then only they will come back to you. Now, Dale Carnegie caters to such needs of companies and helps train and develop employees through its IMAP workforce training process. This process enables companies to identify skill gaps of their employees, analyze organizational needs, and develop custom solutions based around the Dale Carnegie training method, tailor made to address those needs. Thus, they have a step IMAP workforce planning process in place to facilitate employee development. So basically what they want to do is they just try and identify the process which they use. They just try and identify they just help the company to identify the skill gap of their employees. They analyze what is the organizational needs, and they develop custom solutions for each organization, right? That's what a training institute is supposed to do. First thing they would want to do is understand what skill inventory you have, understand what organizational objectives are and what are they looking forward for, and then there should be some skill gap, so they will just identify what are the skill gap, and then they will customize the training program to fulfill the gap which has been found. The five-step Dale Carnegie IMAP workforce training process is shown here. So what they focus on is, first thing is intent, second one is inquire, third thing involve, fourth thing is innovate, and fifth one is impact. The details of the 5-step Dale Carnegie IMAP workforce training process are as follows. First is intent. So the company's strategic vision needs to should be as against as is. Dale Carnegie enables companies to focus on its strategic vision and their employees to adhere to its vision. The first thing they try and understand what is the intent of the company, as in what is their strategic vision that should be achieved in the organization. So they want the organization to focus on its strategic vision and their employees also, so that they can achieve its vision. Next one is inquire. The next step involves conducting a strategic conversation with the company to know where the business currently stands, where the company wants to take it, and the things that need to be done to achieve business objectives. So next one is inquire. Understand everything about the business. Then comes involve. Now this step involves engaging employees in a company's training and development programs. Various assessments, surveys, and other tools are used to enable the alignment of employee objectives with the company's objectives. Engaging employees in the workforce training process helps companies to determine their competency gaps that need to be addressed and attitude of the employees that undermine change. So as we are talking about involvement, see, this is important step, because here you are going to engage the employees. Here you are going to use different tools to understand whether the employees objectives and company's objectives are aligned with each other or not. So for that, you need to at least have the clarity that um, what is the objective of what is that thing which employee wants to achieve. Are they working towards achievement of the organizational goals? First thing, are they even clear about company's goals? We discussed one story as introductory case. We discussed during the chapter of performance appraisal. If you remember, I told you about two departments of, there's this corporation called B Incorporation, and I told you about two departments in that B corporation. One was A and B, and then we also discussed how the information about the objective or the goal of the company for another 3 months was communicated to the group. The honeybees were not aware about the final objective. They were just told that you need to visit the number of flowers, and so they were not collecting the nectar so that they don't become heavier and they can fly faster. And the result was that the performance was poor, the productivity went low, there was no production that happened in that department. On the other hand, the another B manager shared the vision, shared the objectives very clearly, that they were looking forward to increase the production, and then the rewards were given that the one who will be collecting the highest amount of nectar will be awarded, and even the team performance, the group performance will also be rewarded, right? And then we saw the result that it was so successful, the production went high. So the point is that it's very important to understand whether employees are aware about the organizational objectives, or they are just working, like just passing time and just finishing their job because they're supposed to do that. Rather than that, if they are also part of the decision making process, if they are also part of any strategic vision which companies holds, then they will be motivated to work harder, and their productivity will get affected. So first thing which such kind of professional organizations would do is, by different means, let's say by observation or by surveys, by sharing close-ended or open-ended questionnaires, they would like to collect the information from the employees to understand how well they are understanding the company's vision, and are they really working towards it, and what are their personal goals. If they are looking forward to leave from this company soon as possible, then what are they going to, they are never going to work with the commitment. So then first thing these professional organizations do is they try and understand, by using different tools, about how aligned the company's objectives and employees objectives are. After that, they try and engage the employees in the workforce training process, so that it can help the company to determine their competency gaps, which needs to be addressed. So that is your step number 3, involvement. Step number 4, innovate. The next step involves designing interventions that support the strategic intent of companies, provide measurable results, map competencies required to achieve the strategic intent, and combine competency development with change in attitude and alignment of emotional intelligence with business initiatives. So that is innovate. This is the step wherein you try and design different interventions, which will help the company to achieve its strategic goals, and give the measurable results. And last one is impact. So the final step in the process of preparing employees to cope with long-term behavioral changes and attend emotional and intellectual engagement with business objectives. So fifth step is to actually check the impact, to see the impact, because in training the main thing is evaluation. You spend so much of resources, and then if you don't really see how impactful it was, or whether we are seeing any changes or not, then it's going to be a waste. So it depends upon the type of training. We have discussed different types of training, like on the job and off the job. So depending upon the types of training, you expect the result, right? If you were
giving off the job training and taking the employees to some remote place and offering them help them or take them through different kind of cases and exercises and role plays, and that means you're looking forward to see some behavioral changes. Now after the training has happened, you definitely want to understand what is the impact of training on the long term behavioral changes, or any kind of emotional or intellectual changes or engagement with the business, so it has happened or not. So that is definitely a concern. Further, Dale Carnegie has a competency based development system which comprises unique modular corporate training courses that are designed in such a way so as to mainly focus on key employee development areas that are vital to the success of a company. The competency based development system was created to reinforce organizational competencies and address performance gap while also enabling employees to apply his or her learning in the practical work environment. So this is also what they have, competency based development system, if it is needed by the client organization to address the performance gap gaps.